house that is haunted. Right from the start, dear, built on an acre of sand.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm Zada.
And I'm Kelly. And you're listening to Two Sides and the Truth.
You know what we didn't do, Kelly? We didn't check our volumes.
Well, let's check them.
We sound great. You sound awesome.
Thanks.
Kelly.
I think that you sound great. Why don't you sing me a couple bars?
No. I don't know how to sing a bar. I'm like,
There's some holes in this house.
there's some holes in this house. Yeah, perfect.
It's my theme song.
We sound great. I mean, well, you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, you sound awesome. I'm not so much a singer. I wish that there was like a visual aid for y'all right now because my right side looks like a demon and my left side looks like an angel.
It's like it was meant to be or something.
Am I wrong? Are my eyes not greener when they're messed up?
You can definitely, the color pops more.
I'm like,
For
my
sure.
eyes, if they only always
You should
look
go
like
get
this.
your eyes the
Dyed
white
red.
tattooed red.
Yeah. Okay. So current situation is on Sunday, I'm helping my daughter with her room. I'm not even really cleaning. I'm giving direction.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing other things. I was cleaning the main part of the house, but she would ask me to come and give her opinion, whatever. So I go in there. I'm like, okay, first do this, then do that, and I'll be back. And then I turned around and looked at her, and she goes, "What happened to your eye?" "What do you mean? It's red." I was like, "I don't know." And I'm expecting to see like irritated a little bit,
Yeah, like allergy eye.
Yeah. And she was like, "Mom, like I legit just looked at you and it wasn't there and now it is." And so my right eye looks like I was beat up. I don't know. I look like the devil. It is bright red. All the whites in my eye are bright red on the right, but the left is just fine. So I keep forgetting that it looks like that. And I work in customer service. I work in sales. And so all day long, these customers are coming in. And I'm dealing with, most of them are my regular people. I'm in construction sales. Mm-hmm. And so, but I forget. And so these people are just like taken aback by my eye.
What is wrong?
Because almost my whole eye is bright red.
Yeah.
This is not red like pink. This is like, there is no white.
Blood. It's blood red.
Yeah. And so I keep forgetting I'm freaking people out left and right all day long. And everybody. But the best one was when Rick got home yesterday, he saw it and he says, "My balls hurt. I can't look at that. It makes my balls hurt to look at that. I know that has to hurt and it makes my balls hurt."
That's like a whole nother level of pain there.
And I was like, it actually doesn't hurt. It just looks really bad.
Yeah.
Nope, it's got to hurt because my balls are hurting. I was like, well, you're in more pain than me at this point. I
feel a disturbance in the force.
I feel a disturbance in the force. And then my son came home and saw it, and I'd forgotten about it again. He was at his dad's this weekend, and he came home and he saw it, and he was like, "Whoa, what is going on?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, the devil took over the right eye."
You're working on your Halloween costume already?
I am. Yeah, this would be a good one.
All right.
So,
one time I got really sick and I couldn't stop throwing up, and that happened but it happened to both of my eyes. They were completely both bloodshot.
That
red.
has happened to me as well before. This is the first time it's ever happened for no apparent reason. I was told by Al, because I just recorded the other podcast an hour ago, and well, it wasn't Al, Amy said it, but then there was like a nurse next door that saw me. Well, I don't think she's technically a nurse, but she's in the medical field. Christy, shout out to new listener. And she was like, "Do you have high blood pressure?" "This can be a symptom of high blood pressure." And I was like, "I do, actually." And she was like, "Get that checked out." So I called Rick on my way home just now when I left here from the podcast. I went home for a minute. And I was like, "Can you give me a blood pressure checker so when I get home I can check my blood pressure or make sure I'm not like, coding out or something?" So I'll let y'all know. I mean, right now I'm alive and well, and that's it.
We'll keep y'all updated.
I'll keep y'all updated, or I won't. Kelly will. I don't know. It's horrible.
I don't know how I'm going to do that.
I don't know.
It'll be a literally 30-second podcast that is just me being like, I don't have social media, so this is a PSA. It's not okay.
Yeah, no, it's not good. It's not good. So that happened this weekend. My other thing that happened this weekend was Zaylee's prom. What order are we in? I didn't even look at the order. I just skipped.
We're going over your stuff.
Oh, okay.
So,
The blank is me.
You get the
Perfect.
blank spot.
Okay. So it was a big weekend for us. Now I'm going to remind people this is my last of my autism awareness aspects of posts because it's now May. But it does this weekend. Autism was kicking her ass.
It was showing its head.
It was rearing its ugly head. And Zaylee had prom on Saturday night. So I spent all day Saturday getting her ready and taking pictures, and which was great. We had a wonderful mother-daughter like bonding day. We had the whole weekend. Honestly, Zoel went to his dad's house, and Zaylee and I spent the whole weekend together. And honestly, I saw Rick maybe 2 hours the whole weekend.
Wow.
We had opposite schedule. He had things going on as well. Mm-hmm. So Friday night he had a charity event that he had to go to. So he went to the charity event, and I took Zaylee to dinner on like a date night together. And then we went to Target and bought like last minute little things for the prom.
Yeah.
And then Saturday we got up early, and here's where autism pops in. If she's excited about something, she's going to get up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I don't care if she goes to bed at 3 a.m.
As soon as that sun starts making
she's up.
It's up.
So about 4:30 in the morning, I did not realize that Rick had to work Saturday, and he doesn't usually work Saturdays, but lately he has. And so he got up about 4:30 in the morning, I think, and he gets downstairs, and I hear him say, "What are you doing up?" And Zaylee is like, "I'm excited." And so
I can't help it.
he was like, "You're gonna be exhausted. Try to go back to bed because you're gonna regret being up this early."
Yeah.
And so she was like, "I can't," which I already knew this was going to happen. I had warned him. I'd warned her. So I had told her previously, listen, we're going to plan a nap. Okay. I know you're going to get up too early. I know you're going to struggle with that. I need you to plan to take a nap by about 11 so that you can enjoy your evening. Mm-hmm. And cause she always does this to herself every time it's a big event.
I know.
So you do know. Yeah. So every big event in her life, she can handle about 35, 45 minutes, So she is ready to go, man. I mean, if it was up to her, she would have been fully dressed, hair done, 7 a.m. for the 7:30
hair,
prom.
makeup, gown, ready to walk out.
Yeah, for the prom in 12 and a half hours. And so I'm like, girl, you need to chill out, man. We're gonna take this slow. We're gonna have an easy morning. I was trying to relax her. She couldn't relax. So we did her hair and her makeup and had a good day. And then we went and took her pictures. But like last year when we did the prom pictures, obviously you went with us and you helped us and took all these wonderful pictures. And you're a good like confidence builder. Like you're the fun aunt.
Yes.
Really,
Thank you.
And I definitely nailed that. And you weren't there. And so it was just me. I'm not the fun mom. I mean, I can be fun, but I'm mom. You know what I mean?
I understand.
And with her, you can't always be the fun mom. You have to kind of be like...
Yes, there has to be a good cop, bad cop combo.
I have to be the dictator with her. Yeah. Children choose how you parent them. And every one of my children require a different parent. I have to align to that child's needs. Okay. Yeah. With Zaylee, it requires a dictator. And so we did the best we could. We were in a good mood. It was a good day. We took the pictures. We finished the pictures. She had to do them early. She couldn't handle it. So we were way early.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, we're going to go home, but we have 3 hours still. You take your dress off. I'll help you because it was an ordeal. You know these prom dresses.
Yeah.
Take your dress off. Take your shoes off. Relax. If you can fall asleep, I'll redo your hair. It wasn't hard to do. Not a big deal. We can redo makeup. We can redo anything you want to do. Mm-hmm. She couldn't sleep. She kept her shoes on. She couldn't take them off her. I did get the dress off her, which was hard. At first, she wasn't taking the dress off.
Oh, poor thing.
I had to put my foot down. So she waited for me for 3 hours. I took a nap.
Well, good.
I could hear her pacing at the bottom of the stairs. She was excited. And I was like, this is not good for her. I can already tell this is going to be a problem. So I was like, it was time to go. And I'm driving her because I'm not letting her like ride with friends an hour away into the city. And she's going to want to come home.
Yeah.
And they're not, She agreed. So do you want to go to dinner together and then we'll go? She was like, no, they have food there. I just want to go there and eat. And I was like, okay, well, she had to be there early. We got there it started at 7:30. We got there at 6:40 because she couldn't handle it anymore. We had to sit in the car for how long? She finally goes in there, has her, joins her friends. And I'm like, okay, Rick was going to go with me. And I was like, no, I'm fine. I'll go by myself. I brought my pillow and a book. So if she did want to stay the whole time, I can just take a nap or read or whatever.
You're such a good mom.
I mean, some days. We're going to get to another story in a minute.
I'm giving you your kicks where you can get them, okay?
Hey, thank you. I might need it. And so then I'm like, so I Google like the closest restaurant. I find the closest restaurant. Literally, it's in the parking lot. It was Cowboy Stadium is where she had the prom.
Oh, cool.
So the parking lot was the restaurant was right outside of Cowboy Stadium. My waiter was horrible, and I hate to say that about a waiter. It was so bad. And so I was there a long time because he wouldn't serve me. And like I couldn't get his attention. And so I was there a long time. I was there about an hour and a half to just have dinner by myself. And so finally I leave there. I pull out of the parking lot. She calls me. She's ready to go home.
Mm-hmm.
So she's at the prom an hour and a half because she is tired. Her feet hurt because she's had her shoes on all day.
That'll happen.
They weren't hurting until she got there, but she had them on too long.
Yeah.
We picked sensible shoes, and she was exhausted mentally. She was just exhausted. She had a great time at the prom.
That's good.
She enjoyed the hour and a half she was there.
That's good.
So I didn't even nap, read a book, nothing. I can't. By the time I got back from there, she was ready to go.
You just went and had dinner with yourself.
I just went and had dinner with myself.
That's so nice.
It wasn't the first time.
I haven't done that in a really long time, and I need to put that on my. I'm making a therapy list of things that I
think everybody should be comfortable going to dinner by themselves.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And you know me, I'm talking to every damn dog around me. Like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Oh my God, I'm so stupid. So. That was Saturday night.
Before you leave, you're not alone anymore.
Yeah. By the time I leave, people high-fiving me usually. And Kelly and I walked into Al's tonight to record, and we had to wait for the door to be unlocked to the recording studio next door to Al's. And there's a couple that I don't know except for have seen them up here on recording night. Like, this must be their night they come up here.
Yeah, it must be date night.
And so they always like, hey, I thought they were listeners. No, they just recognized me from coming up here. They didn't know why I was coming up here.
See, you're always here. Do you work here?
Well, no. They were like, what are you doing? Da, da, da. And I'm like, well, we're recording again. What are you recording? I was like, oh, okay.
Well, let me tell you.
So that's what I was talking to them about for a long time. Anyway,
I was actually writing the stuff down that we were about to talk about and getting our stuff ready. And I could hear her over my shoulder talking to them. I was like, go Zada, get us more listeners. Good job.
I'm telling you, in the last 3 days, I have converted 5 people to listen.
I love that you say converted.
Random people I've met off the streets. Christy is my new girl, man. I met her here yesterday. Love this girl. And I do, man. She would totally, she just fits right in.
That's awesome.
And anyway, so I'm like, well, that's prom night. Rick had to work. He had the thing on Friday night, the auction charity event. And so I didn't see him. He got home kind of late and I was already asleep. And then Saturday he had to work. So by the time he got home on Saturday, I was leaving for the prom. I saw him like in passing. I take her to the prom. He goes to dinner with his daughter. I come back from the prom. We go to bed. We're old people. It's like 9:30. We're out.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. And so we go to bed. We get up Sunday. He gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning and drives to Corpus Christi, Texas, which for people that don't know, that listen, that is like, how many hours is that away? Like 6-7 hours away. It's the coast. He's driven to the ocean. So he's driven from, I think normal people, it's an 8-hour drive. But with Rick, it's like a 5.5, 6. He is hauling ass in that F-250. And so he goes down there to get an engine for his boat.
Oh, that's why he was going so fast.
Yeah, he's excited. There's a shortage apparently on these engines. I'm not kidding. So he had to drive that far to get one.
Wow.
So he goes to get his engine for his boat, and he's obviously gone all day, So now we have senior pictures. That's the next event.
It's the next step. It's like this was a video game that you were in, and you had to pass all these crazy hard levels to get to the next
one. I was exhausted mentally and physically after this weekend. And so, but I was really happy. Zaylee and I had so much time together that we needed, and it was really a really good weekend, honestly.
That's good.
And for her and I think.
I was praying for y'all.
But wait till the story from Monday. We'll get to that.
Okay.
So, she gets overstimulated and things go south.
Oh, yeah. I feel you.
And so we go to do the senior pictures, and about 25, 30 minutes from here. And a friend of mine that I grew up with, Megan Sanders Clark, if anyone needs a photographer in the Dallas area, because she does all over Dallas, she's amazing. She took both my girls' senior pictures, and amazing. And so she recommended this park to go to take these senior pictures. But she didn't just do my senior pictures. Like, she's a professional photographer, and she is amazing. She did them for free. I did not offer to. I was going to have her do her pictures anyways, but she reached out to me and said, "Have you done her senior pictures?" And I was like, "No, I was going to contact you." And she was like, "I'm doing them, and I'm doing them for free, and I'm not accepting anything because in the past, her and I've helped each other a lot. She has a child that has had some we thought was autistic, and so when she needed to talk to someone, it worked out really well.
Yeah.
Plus, her and I are just a lot alike. Like I just love talking to her and just And she would not take money for this. And I mean, she drove over an hour and then met us there and then spent 2 hours taking these pictures. Zaylee was enthusiastic the first hour and a half. The last half hour wasn't so pleasant. The pictures were beautiful.
Yes, they were.
And we left there and she was exhausted. We didn't get home till about 9:00 at night.
Whoa.
On Sunday night. So that's a lot to pack into one weekend for Zaylee in particular. So as I'm going to bed Sunday night, I'm like, tomorrow morning is going to be rough.
Yeah.
And Zaylee, being autistic, her anxiety really kicks up at the end of the school year because there's a lot of changes. And suddenly you're doing fun stuff in class, like watching movies and whatever. Mm-hmm. And there's exams. So like your schedule might be different. And there's projects due that that's different.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of change for her. And on top of that, it's her senior year. She didn't know what's happening next. Like, this is just a lot going on. Mm-hmm. And it's overwhelming her. And suddenly she doesn't want to go to school and she doesn't want to do her work after being an AB student her whole life. So the last month has been fucking ridiculous. I can't get the kid to go to school. And I get up at 4:30 and go to work at 5:20 and get there at 6 a.m. And I'm 45 minutes from here or 35 minutes from here. And so she has to get up. Like, there's not someone to get her up. I'm gone. Yeah. Rick's gone. We're gone. Because he's in construction too. So we're out of the house early. So I told my boss the other day, I was like, listen, she's not allowed to miss any more school per the school. So if she tries not to go to school, I have to clock out. I got to go home. Yeah. I have to get this kid to school. Like, my priority is to get this kid to graduate.
Get her to school.
And I'm going to do that. And so he was like, I understand. Like, I warned him about this a week or two ago.
Yeah.
So Monday morning hits and she's not going to school. Her stomach hurts, she says, which could be true because anxiety will make your stomach hurt. But she's not going to school. I'm like, you're going to school. You don't have a choice. You're going to school. They said you can't miss any more school. You're going to school. You're going to school. No, I'm not. And she's not bending. And this is a kid that don't bend.
No. When she tells you she's not doing something, she's not doing it.
She's not. She makes me look easygoing with shit like that. And I'm stubborn as hell when it comes to stuff like that. So I'm like, get up. She won't get up. I said, if I have to clock out and come home, I'm going to lose my shit on you. Like, this is not fair to me. I am at work. Like, get up and go to school. No. Nope. So I clocked out and I went home. Oh, no. So I'm driving home and I'm thinking about how I'm going to handle this because Zaylee will fight.
And I mean, she'll throw hands quick.
She'll throw hands.
Or anything else.
Yeah. She's autistic. It's overstimulating to fight, but she's the one that starts the fight. None of my other kids are like this. I have never argued with another kid. Zoe has raised her voice to me one time in 26 years. One time. She's never spoken back to me that I can think of. Zaylee, it's a daily thing since the day she was born. She came out pissed off at me. And so I'm just like, okay, what am I going to do? I don't want to go home and fight. Like, I just don't have it in me anymore. I'm old and I don't want to do this shit anymore. And I'm tired too, man. I didn't want to be at work either.
Right.
So I'm like thinking of what I can do. I'm trying to think of like creative parenting. And I came up with the most Gen X parenting thing ever. It's also considered torture according to the military. So
quote unquote,
you decide torture. If this is somehow you want to parent or not. I'm just saying it may not be for everybody.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, I don't give a fuck. I'm just being honest. So honestly, I was so proud of myself after this, and I'm just going to put that out there. So I'm driving home, and I'm pissed, but I'm like, I'm not going to come home screaming because I don't want to do that. I'm tired of fighting with her. Mm-hmm. I've tried nice. I've tried mean. I've taken shit. I've grounded shit. I've tried every parenting. I mean, girls in therapy. I've read books. Like, parenting her is like parenting an entire football team. Okay, every day you get a different kid. So I'm like, so I get home. I go in there. I'm like, you need to get up. You need to go to school right now. She's acting like she's asleep. She won't move. She won't open her eyes. Nothing.
She's in comatose.
She's gone full grade possum playing dead.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, get up. get up. And I was like, you understand it's me in trouble too. If you miss school, it's me that gets truancy charges. It's me that goes to court. Get up. I had to leave work, which doesn't look good on me. Get up. She won't get up. She will not budge. I'm like, okay, I warned you. I go into the kitchen. I'm like, I might be home all day. I don't know what's going to happen, you know? I go in the kitchen. I grab my speaker. Okay. I put my speaker up to her door. I put my phone on 9 Inch Nails' Pretty Hate Machine at full blast. I might add, Zaylee only likes country music. She hates anything about 9 Inch Nails. It's all horrible for her. And I wouldn't listen to that in front of my kids typically. But you know, you got to fight fire with fire.
Sometimes you do.
If you want to play dead, I'm going to wake you the fuck up out of the death with some devil music. And we're going to listen to 9 Inch Nails. I might add, I absolutely love 9 Inch Nails. And this particular album is like a top 5 of mine.
Yeah.
Pretty Hate Machine. You can clean some house like a motherfucker. Or have amazing sex to it. It could go either way.
Yeah, it's so versatile.
It's amazing. So I'm like, and I love Pretty Hate Machine. I know every word to every song. And so I put it on at full blast up against her door. And I am singing at the top of my lungs. And you know I can't sing. So it's added torture.
Yes, it is.
So every time she would open her door to yell at me to turn it off or down, I would dance. Like embarrassingly dance. I'm also still dressed for work. Mm-hmm. So I have on steel toes. I have on a polo with jeans that looks like a man. It's horrible. I have currently my crazy red bloody eye. So literally I would dance and smile and I would sing the lyrics to every word. She was like, you don't even like 9 Inch Nails, because she doesn't know, because I don't listen to that music in front of my kids.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? You might want to listen to the lyrics coming from your mother that's trying to get you to go to school. Head like a hole, black as your soul. I'd rather die than give you control. Bow down before the one you serve. You're gonna get what you deserve.
Amen.
I said, I picked this album for a fucking reason. And let me tell you, they got 6 more. So if you want to listen at full blast to Jane's Addiction all day, not to Jane's Addiction, to 9 Inch Nails, you prepare yourself. You will not be sleeping in your bed comfortably all day. You will be listening to 9 Inch Nails. And when I run out of 9 Inch Nails, we're listening to Jane's Addiction. Shoot, I don't care. She goes in her room, slams the door, comes back. This is child abuse, and I'm going to call the police. And I was like, call them. One of us is breaking the law being truant. The other one is listening to music in their own home. Let's do this.
Yeah. Yeah. You tell them that you're staying home and being truant.
Yeah. She didn't believe me. I pulled up Google and I read truancy laws to her and she got quiet. And then she leaves the room again. And then we're about 4 songs in at this point. And she comes out, fine, I'm going to school. I can't do this. I mean, I felt like a fucking mom rock star. And the reason I got this idea is back in Desert Storm, they played Metallica to torture people. And at this certain McDonald's that's in a rough neighborhood in Dallas, they play classical music to keep people from loitering in their parking lot. And in Austin, I just recently saw a TikTok where in Austin there is a guy that owns or runs a 7-Eleven, and he got tired of the homeless people hanging out in his parking lot. So he started playing very loud classical music, and it dispersed them like ants. They were gone.
Wow, that's so crazy.
So I decided to use this warfare tactic to get my kid to go to school, and it worked. So then today she wakes up and she's like, she did apologize. Once she gathers herself and she takes her medicine, she usually owns it.
Yeah.
This morning we had a repeat possum. So she wouldn't get up. She wouldn't respond to her brother who was trying to get her to go to school. So I told her brother, I was like, put the phone up to her ear and put me on speaker. And I'm like, get up or I'm coming home and we're right back on to 9 Inch Nails. She got up. If that's not, I'm sorry, but that just I feel like I deserve an award.
There you
Cheers.
go, you know what I mean?
Gen X, take some notes. Really, millennials, you take the notes because you're going to need this. And I'm texting my bosses as this is going on because my plan is to go back to work.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just put on 9 Inch Nails at full blast. I feel like this is going to do the trick. My bosses are cracking up. They're like, what? And I was like, just trust me on this, okay? I came back to work. They were like, it worked? I was like, it worked. And my boss is younger than me. He's a millennial. Is he even a millennial? He's very young. And he grew up on like emo music, and he's younger than you are. And so he grew up on emo music. And I said, this is going to be you in 20 years, but you're going to be playing like some emo, I can't believe you broke my heart, something like that. And he was like, oh, I'm writing this down. This is good parenting. This is good parenting.
Yeah, put that in a book somewhere.
Put that in a book. So that was my weekend.
Oh my gosh.
Summed up. I had a lot going on.
Oh my God. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I had not a lot going on because I got to escape and go to the cabin this weekend and
Without me.
without you,
I was a little
but
busy.
you were there in spirit for me because I watched those freaking Cardinals attacking the windows in the morning.
Oh, did
I
they
was like,
attack?
oh,
you know what's
yeah.
weird is when I was there last week, they didn't.
They
Or
did
the
it.
week before last.
I guess
yeah.
they just love me then.
They
Huh.
do. They did not attack me. Weird.
They're at the. And as soon as you wake up and you go in there to make coffee,
They're
like,
running into the window.
I'm like, how does that not hurt you? Like, stop. I feel really bad when you break your neck trying to get in here with me.
It can happen, yeah.
I know it's sad, but I love going out there because I one of the best things now is that I lose service out there. Like, so as soon as I get like into a certain part of San Saba, and especially on that property, there's no using my phone. There's no service. And I absolutely love it. I love that it forces me. Not that I'm really ever on my phone much, but that's it.
You're
makes
truly
me,
forced to disconnect.
It makes me disconnect completely, and you're alone whenever you're doing something by yourself, which I like to do at the cabin. I like to go down to the river and just chill.
Yeah.
And just look at the sky or just soak in some sun. Or if it's
relaxing,
at the evening, just sit on the porch and swing and look out at nothing and just
That's exactly what I did 2 weeks ago all by myself. It was awesome.
And then I don't mind music. I like to listen to music, but sometimes I just like listening to the music of the world. You know what I mean? I don't need anything added.
It's so beautiful out there, yeah.
So for
listeners that are not, this might be some people's first time to listen to us. My family has a cabin where my great grandparents built their original house. Maybe even great grandparents built our original homestead in Texas. And the house, the cabin, as we call it, is a beautiful home. When I say cabin, this is not a rundown cabin. I would live there in a heartbeat. But it's on my original homestead. My grandfather built it. It is, no one lives there. It's just me that uses it and my friends. And Kelly is one of only 2 other people that we allowed to go without us.
On that VIP list.
VIP. And it's in Central Texas on the Colorado River. Anyways, continue with your weekend.
So my original plan was to go out there by myself, but I need somebody to drive me because I'm not driving myself, which I could have just been driven out there, but I was just figured it'd be easier just to make it a girls' weekend if I could get some people to go. So it started off, nobody was going to be able to go. And then Sunday was able to get off. She got off from Friday. She took off Friday, and then she came, and then Marilee came and met us out there as well. So, and it was fun. We had a good time, but it was definitely a learning experience when you spend that much time alone. Well, or when you spend that much time with friends, like just the 3 of y'all.
Yeah, because that's a smaller
or even
group
just the
than
2
normal.
of you. Yeah. And so when we went out there alone, like it's a learning experience. You really have to be able to read a person really well. That way you can give them the space and the time that they need, but also be able to have a good time and spend time together. And like, you got to figure out how to do a really good balance of that, because you never know what your friend is actually needing. So it's really good if you just ask, but a lot of people don't do that. So anyways, but I had a good time. Like I tried to, but one of my like come to Jesus meetings with myself that I had is that I've noticed that I've started to acquire qualities that I don't exactly like. And so, and when I see especially when I see them in myself and I feel them myself, I'm just like, why am I doing this? I don't like that.
Right.
But it's just learned behavior. Whenever you are around people, whether it be your family or friends or coworkers, sometimes things get instilled in you, and it can be something that you're not even for. It can be like language or negativity or, conditioning that they've had throughout their lives, whatever it might be. It happens to you too.
Right.
Like if you don't catch it, and if you're not careful about it, you know what I mean?
Right. I agree completely.
So
what was your takeaway on that? Like for the weekend, what was like the best part of the weekend? And then what was like your biggest like learning moment from the weekend?
With learned behavior, sometimes you don't know what to do. So what I was thinking this week, and I was like, what is it that is bothering me first off? And where do I feel like it's stemming from? And some of it is just kind of negativity or cattiness, or it's whenever I get to a certain point, because people very much will bring other people out of me. Like you're going to get a certain Kelly depending on how you're coming at me. Right. And whenever I suffer from a lot of different things mentally, but one of them is like my fight, flight, or freeze whenever somebody puts their hands on me or they make me feel uncomfortable. So if you do that to me, it's very hard for me to not feel that way around you or not put walls up or whatever the case may be, because I don't want anybody to affect, where my mental health is at, because it's already a train wreck. You know what I mean? I work very hard on it. Yeah. So when it comes to your friends and the people that are around you, if they are exhibiting things that you take offensively, or you just feel as negative, or you feel as manipulative, you need to make sure that you speak that out. You know what I mean? You don't just let things slide because somebody's your friend and
you're festering.
You're trying to save face or something. Like, that's not going to help your relationship. It's only going to hurt it. So it can be difficult and it's a learning experience to get through something like that with a friend, but a real friend is going to be honest with you, and they're going to tell you how you feel or how you made them feel. And then they're going to be like, okay, so how do we fix this? Or what am I supposed to do? And sometimes you have to distance yourself from your friends or your family or whoever it is to figure out, okay, how do I fix this? Right. And where's the toxicity coming from? Because it's like there's
a hiccup.
Yeah. It's a leaking pipe. And if you have a lot of plumbing, you got to figure out where that's coming from.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I feel like that's kind of where I am right now. Is pulling myself back from a lot of situations and trying to figure out, okay, where's my core at? Where am I really wanting to be? And how much am I bending for certain people in certain situations?
And how is it healthy for everybody?
Yeah.
Not just for you, but for the other parties involved.
Yeah.
Because you have to take care of your mental health. But sometimes friends have to tell friends to take care of their own mental health too.
It's true.
Like sometimes you're going to have friends that are not taking care of their mental health. And that's part of being a friend. That you're like, what's up? What's going on with you? Like you did me 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? Whatever, a week ago. Whatever it was that I needed you to ask me what's up and what can I do to help you.
Yeah.
That can go different ways. It might not be when they're struggling over something pleasant. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And another thing is I have started to not give hugs again, which is weird because I am supposed to be doing it. It's part of my therapy to do it because it puts me out of my comfort zone to try and grow me. But I've decided that it has started doing the opposite for me. It's really started to have a negative effect on me because it's got to the point where a lot of times I feel obligated, like they're friends or they're acquaintances or I see people out and they know me and they want to hug me. Or it's the kids at the Boys and Girls Club, they just come up, they want to hug. So there's a certain obligation that I feel if I've always hugged somebody when I see them.
That you have to do it again.
And then you don't do it. They would be like, oh, why is it she hugging? Why didn't I? Like, you know what I mean?
They're going to overthink it.
And then, so I feel bad about that. So I hug people sometimes just because I feel obligated to do it. And so hugs are a good thing. They really do. They're compression therapy, and they do help with your mental health. And to have that touch therapy, or some people that is their love language. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's so hard when I don't actually want to do it.
Right.
But I make that sacrifice for my friends and my family sometimes, and I've had to put it in my head that it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
Like I have that right.
And you can be overstimulated from a situation with one person, and it manifests itself. It's just like your plumbing analogy. Yeah, you popped another hole.
Yeah,
if there's too much pressure in one spot. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
And so that's what I've started to do. So if you're a friend or somebody that actually listens to this, and I've tried to explain to people that have been taken aback, I don't want you to feel offended by the fact that I don't want to hug you, but it really is, it's too much for me sometimes. Right. And I have to put my foot down. It's not that I'm never going to do it, but I have to listen to myself more when my body's telling me that it's uncomfortable and doesn't.
Well,
want
it
to
goes
do
right
something.
back to what we talked about earlier with overstimulation. Mm-hmm. It's just a different form of stimulation. Yeah. And, you know, my daughter's taught me a lot about overstimulation. I didn't realize how important it was for some people, but it clearly is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's real. Yeah. I think that's good. So when you went to the cabin, did you do anything to help yourself?
Well, that was the
Center it did you like wander off and hike like you do?
Yeah,
because Kelly, if she's had enough and she needs like a mental break, she's gone.
Not a word to anybody. I'm just out the door.
She's gone.
Gone by. It's funny because I'm really glad that I had friends out there because it's a fun experience to share with people. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you have to make sure that you take the time to do what you went there to do. And so I made sure I did that. And there was a couple of times that I would hear them, like they'd find me. They're like, where you been? Or this or other, where are you going? And I'm just like,
and you're the only one that knows the property.
And I tell them, look, you're just learning what the cabin is, and that's a rule. Like you can go and do whatever you want to do.
You don't have to hang out with the girls.
You don't have to hang out unless you want to. You don't have to tell anybody where you're going. You don't have to tell anybody anything. Really.
Unless it's nighttime and you've been drinking.
Yeah, and then you're trying to go down to the river, and people are like, we haven't seen so and so in a long time.
Yeah, and it's really hard to get up those steps.
Yeah, it's dangerous. It's hard to do it sober in the daylight.
All the time we found one of our friends asleep on the side of the house at night. And I was like, what are you doing in the grass on the side of that? There's snakes out here. Come inside.
Yeah. So I had to do a lot of reminding them like, hey, I can do whatever I want to do out here.
Yeah.
Or not do anything I want to do. And if I can just get up and walk away and I don't have to talk to anybody for 4 hours if I don't want to. Yeah. And I can go to bed at 8:30 if I want to, right. And you can stay up and keep partying if you want to.
Whatever you want to, yeah.
So I had to, and I understand because when you're hanging out with your girls, you kind of want it to be like a party situation, and we're all mingling. And I get that
the cabin's a party, but it's not because even when we go like with a good big group, the core group that normally goes, we have lulls in the day where everybody goes and takes a nap. Like there might be 3 of us missing, 2 of us missing at all time because they're napping.
Yeah.
So you might not nap when I nap, but I might get a nap in there. And you just find the closest place you can nap. It doesn't even have to be where you're sleeping. If you want, you can nap anywhere. You can find a spot that you can sleep. You know what I mean? And,
I napped by the river, and I worked on my tan.
There you go. And just for preface it, our friends Marilee and Sunday that went. This is their first time to ever go to the cabin.
Yeah, first time. They were awestruck.
I got texts from both. Sunday texts me all weekend long.
I know.
It was
she
so
told
cute.
me all weekend long too. She's like, "Oh my, I'm so happy that you were okay with me coming out here." She's like, and I know I've said it a million times. I was like, "Well, tell Zada thank you." She's like, "I know I have." I was like, "Well, the only other person to thank is God."
Yeah,
He did all this.
Yeah, thank you, God. Thank you, Zada's great grandparents.
I said, just make sure you're blessing everything out here.
She's very excited about it. Marilee also sent me some very sweet messages about being excited about it. Sunday more so because I was talking to you via Sunday because I know you didn't have your phone on and you don't get reception. So I was like, tell her to get a picture of this. Tell her. I told Kelly, I'm like, I'm using you as this weekend without me as like a way to understand what I need to be able to communicate to guests because I have it already rented for one weekend and I have other people wanting to rent it and I've been putting it off because I needed to like plan and I've rented it out to friends that have been there with me so I didn't need to do all this, but this is for people that don't go with us.
So they know the lay of the land and exactly where things are at.
So I'm like, take a picture of the alarm pad. Take a picture of the water. I want to see how tall it is. So I'm communicating through her. So I got more messages from her, but they were just, I could tell she was very happy to be there and very much at peace.
It was so funny because she's probably going to, I don't know if she wants me to talk about this, but Sunny has this new person that she's infatuated with. And it's so cute because this woman has literally done a 360 from what she was like maybe like 6 months ago. She was very anti even trying to date or caring about anybody, and she was not going to change her schedule. Okay.
Yep.
Well, she is smitten. Okay. And it was really funny because I put Dante's number into her phone before I turned my phone off, and because I knew it was going to have service. Yeah. So, and I messaged him. I was like, this is Sunny's number because she still had service. I was like, so if anything does happen, we do have a link. But other than that, my phone's off. And he knows this. He's been through many a cabin, me going to the cabin.
He knows.
You don't talk to me. And so the first night Sunday came in, she's giggling and she holds the phone up to me and it's a text message from Dante and it and it just says, tell my boo I said good night.
Aww.
And I was like, oh my gosh. Well, and then the next day we're down at the river. I didn't really say anything to them about being on their phones, because if you want to be on your phone, I really do not care. I disconnect. I'm not going to make you. I will encourage you to, because it's a good thing to. Yeah. But they both knew that it was like, don't be on your phone a whole bunch. Like, try not to. And I had more faith in Sunday, but she.
No, new boo.
New boo had her. But I didn't say anything. I just laughed about it because I really don't care, but it was just so funny. But we were down laying out at the river and her phone rang and I was like, who's calling? Because they had been texting the whole time. Yeah. And really nobody had called. And so she answers and she's like, oh, this isn't for me. And she rings it over to me. And I was like, babe, how are you going to call me? And I try to give them a hard time about talking to their guys. And then you're going to up and call me. He's like, well, babe, I just...
And that's out of character for him. He must have been missing you.
That's why I asked him whenever the next time I talked to him before I was leaving, because I called you off of Sunday's phone and then I called him to let him know we were getting on the road. I was like, baby, you missing me this weekend? Because you're
blowing me up.
I was like, yeah, actually I was. I was like, you're so cute.
Yeah. See, and Rick's not a texter. So like if I go there, he does want a good morning phone call. And he wants a good night text or phone call. He's not real picky if at night, if it's a text, or he knows by the nighttime I'm having a good time. You know?
Yeah.
And he knows we're going to bed at weird hours. Mm-hmm. So I might not think to like call or text him at the normal time, like before he goes to bed, because he's going to bed at 8:30. I don't care if it's a Saturday night. You know, so that's not as big a deal, but that's all it is. I'm not hearing from him the rest of the day.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, and that's cool with me.
And then I finally turn my phone on when I get service, and I usually don't get service till like Hamilton or something like that. Yeah, like it's crazy. And my phone just goes da-ding, 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 and Cindy looks over at me and she's like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "I know." This is why I've turned my phone off.
Well, I had texted you before. I didn't realize you already had it turned off. And I texted you and I was like, hey, Bonnie's not going to be in town. She won't be dropping by. I just want to let you know what to expect. Well,
she did drop by.
She did?
When? Oh, I forgot to tell you this. When me and Cindy,
what day?
So when me and Cindy first get there, we get there and we're like, it hailed on our way. When we went through the Bermuda Triangle this time, it was hailing like huge hails.
Yeah,
like,
I saw the picture.
Gosh, I'll post it too.
For people wondering, Bermuda Triangle is the spot between Hamilton, Texas, and Goldthwaite, Texas, which is about a 40-minute drive through the country. And I always lose phone service there, and she loses phone service there, and we have gotten lost. It's usually dark.
Yes.
And it's country road.
But we've done it in the day too.
We've gotten lost. I have found every alternative route.
Me and Cindy still got lost.
Oh,
even though we really didn't get lost, we just got turned around. We just didn't take because we stopped at Storms to get burgers.
Yeah.
And then we didn't take that initial off.
Oh, and so there was a second option.
Well, so we had to do this like whole loop around. I was like, we found the Bermuda Triangle before the actual Bermuda Triangle. How did we manage that?
Kelly and I, one time, I got us lost and we ended up on a dirt road and we were full on fucking Dukes of Hazzard. Were we not? Yeah. We were like jumping bumps and stuff. It was fun. And I drive a Ram pickup. So we're hauling ass through this country road.
Dark. There's deer running everywhere.
Yeah, and I'm talking dirt road but the map at this point is telling me I can go this way. Yeah. It's working again, and it's telling me I can go this way. I was like, it's telling me I can go this way.
And I'm like, I don't trust it.
And I'm like, I want to find out what it's at the other end, and I'm driving, so we're doing this.
What if it's death, Zada? Okay, what if it's death?
It wasn't.
It wasn't. We made it.
It wasn't. We made it.
Well, we finally get there, and the sun actually comes out. Like the storm passes over where we're at, and so it's sunny. And I was like, well, let's get down there. So we put our swimsuits on real quick. We go down there.
Oh, y'all made it in time to get down there.
Okay. We went down there and we laid out. So, and I'm telling Sunday all the way down here, like, this is super remote. Like, nobody's going to be here. Like, I had actually got your text message about her
Bonnie.
not going to be there. And so I was kind of not pissed, but I was like, oh, because I kind of wanted Sunday to meet Bonnie. But still, I was like, it's just us, no problem. Like, I'll lock the gate. We don't have to worry about nothing. Nobody's going to come up. Well, so we're laying out there and we're relaxed. We're like sunning in the sun. And thank God we actually did have our, bathing suits on. And we hear, hey, what are you girls doing out here? Sunday about jumps out of her skin. And I'm like laying down on my stomach, so I have to like turn around to look, and it's Bonnie.
I had no idea. She has not told me this because she was going to see my little brother was in Austin, so she went to spend the weekend with my brother. I spent the weekend with my daughter, but all my family was in Austin, so she went to see them.
So I was like, what the hell are you doing here? I said, I thought you were supposed to be in Austin. She's like, nah, we're going tomorrow. I said, all right. And it was her and her boyfriend. They had to get a new like motor for the boat. And so they were bringing down the motor because their little boat was there, and they were going to go check the trot lines before they left.
Oh.
But she's like, I had to come see, make sure that y'all got settled and everything. And we're coming down. She's telling us they were coming down there. She's like, but I had to come down real quick to make sure y'all had clothes on.
We've trained Bonnie.
I was like, you're a very smart woman.
Yeah, trained. She was like, I don't need to see my man coming down seeing Kelly topless. Kelly likes to sunbathe topless.
Well, the rest of the weekend we were, and like Mary Lee got there, and we went down there, and we all sunbathed, and
there you go.
We were all topless.
All
I was like, take them off, ladies.
Girls' weekend. People pay money for this.
And I don't know. There was a couple of times that that I joked about, I'm so happy that there's not cameras down here, or we were around the cabin, and Cindy's like, oh, I'm so happy there's not cameras around here.
There's no promises. There's no game cameras. No, I'm kidding. We don't have any game cameras there, but somebody else next in the ranch next might.
Well, you know what?
But you weren't the ranch next, so you're good.
I'm used to being on.
But if they were smart, that ranch next door would probably aim at our direction. As often as we're out there in the summer, they should know by now.
I pretty much just live my life with the, like, you're on camera, so just assume that you are.
You're all
like,
good.
I don't care. I really don't. When it comes to someone seeing my chest, I really don't care about that. Like,
it's well, yeah, I mean, they're pretty, so there you go. There you go. Well, that's fun. It sounds like you had a good time.
I mean, we did.
And they got to experience that. That's not a normal cabin weekend. That's a low key one.
That was, and I really like it. But at the same time, it really does help to have more women sometimes, because you have more buffers. You know what I mean?
People to entertain each other when someone doesn't want to talk.
Yeah, because like, I don't mind being entertainment, but I can't be sole entertainment.
Well, see, and normally I'm there taking over.
Yeah,
that
I know.
route. You had to be the entertainer.
I decided that I'm not going without you anymore.
You didn't realize all the work I have to put in.
Moral of the story is, I made your beans though, and oh my gosh, they were so good.
I got text messages about the beans.
They were amazing. I was like, this is culture right here. This is cabin history. And this, y'all need to listen and learn. Y'all look at this.
Yeah.
Y'all need to learn. This is what happens. We make beans.
Yeah, that was funny because Sunday texted me a picture of you picking up beans off the floor. She goes, guess who spilled the beans?
Idiot.
There you are picking it up off the floor. I was like, that's too funny. When Kelly said she was going, I was like, what food do y'all bring? I'm the cook. Like, I like to cook, so I prefer to be the cook. I mean, anyone can cook. I love everybody's food. I'm a nurturer. It's what I do.
You're in that kitchen.
It's my love language. And so I was like, well, what are you going to cook? What are y'all going to have? And I was like, you got to make the beans. I think you said, I got to make the beans.
Yeah. And you're like, I have all the stuff. I can make you a care package. I was like, bet, do it. And you sure did. I was so excited. I got to work on the beans as soon as we got there.
I know. Y'all sent it early.
Sorted through, and I was getting them soaking. It was so funny.
Well, I'm proud of you. You did a good job.
Thanks.
I'm glad y'all
had
had
a really
fun.
great time.
I wish I could have been there, but I had a great weekend with Daly, so we had a fun time.
This summer sometime, hopefully.
Definitely so. What else we got to talk about? We've done pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's good for this episode.
So we're going to shoot for 2 episodes this week. So we're going to try and record tomorrow if everything aligns, hopefully. So I think it will.
I think it'll work out.
And we'll talk again.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, y'all join us again for our next episode of
Two Sides of the Truth.
I should have said it with you, but you do it cuter. And we'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.